Now let's talk about conditionals in PHP. If you ask me what's the foundation of all the technologies around us, I would say conditionals. Even in our daily life, we use conditionals all the time. Like, if you're hungry, eat something. If you like it, buy that. For machines, these ifs are very important. If the user is logged in, don't show login button. If the light is red, the car should stop, and so on. In PHP, there are three different conditionals: if else conditionals, switch, ternary. Let's start with if else condition. The structure of this conditional is like this. If the condition is true, run this part. We use the second condition with else if. Else if another condition is true, then do this part. Otherwise, do this. This part can easily be removed like this. You can simply have an if and else condition. Sometimes we don't even need this part. We just say if this condition is true, do this. Otherwise, go do the rest of the code. About these conditions, do you remember when we talked about logic and comparison operators? We can use them in our conditions here. Let me copy this structure and give you an example. Here, let's say I have a value which is 2, and let's see if this value equals to 2, then echo 2. Else if this value is equal to 3, then echo 3. Echo 3. Otherwise, echo unknown. Okay, let's see what we'll get. 2. Great. Now if I change it to 3, I will get 3, and if I change it to something else like 5, I will get unknown. Perfect. Now the next conditional is switch. The structure of a switch statement, switch conditional, is something like this. If a variable equals to this value, then do this part. If equals to this value or this value, then do this part. Otherwise, do this. If I wanted to write this switch statement with the if else that we learned, it would be if variable equals to value 1, then do this part. Else if the variable equals to value 2 or it equals to value 3, then do this part. Else do the part that is in default section. Yeah, it would be like this if I wanted to write it in if else structure. But if I want to use switch, I can do this. This break is very important, because if I don't use this break, this just is going to run through the whole cases, all the cases, no matter what. And if none of the cases are true, our code will run this part. If you don't want a default, you just remove this. And in case, like I said, if the value is this part or this part, we can use multiple case rather than writing the same code twice. We can use this structure. So if the variable equals to value 2 or value 3, it would run this part. Now let me show you an example. We are going to run exactly something like this. If value was 2, if I copy this, I will show you the example. Variable, let's see, is 2. Now in case it's 2, we will echo 2. In case it's 3, I don't want the or statement. In case it's 3, I will echo 3. Otherwise, as a default value, I will echo unknown. unknown. We will get the same exact result that we got last time. 2. If I change it to 3, I will get 3. And if I change it to something like 8, I will get unknown. Perfect. This is the switch statement now. The next one is ternary, which is very short and very useful if you want to write your conditionals in a one line. The structure is something like this. If this condition is true, we will run this part. Otherwise, we will run this part. So let me show you an example with the same structure. Let's again say I have a variable which is 2. We say, don't forget the semicolon. If the variable is 2, then I want to echo 2. And if otherwise, echo unknown. Okay, now rather than writing echo here, as you can see when my ID shows something is wrong, I should write echo beforehand, and PHP will first go through this part, say okay, variable is 2, okay, I want to return this part returns 2, and then we will echo this. And we see 2. Now if I say a 5, I should get unknown. Perfect. This is very good, especially when we want to create new variables and do something based on that. Like I want to write variable b, which is kind of dependent on the value that we assign to variable 1. Now if I do this, I don't need to change this variable later. If I wanted to do it manually rather than this condition, I want to have unknown if this value is 5, but if it's 2, I want this value to be 2. Right now, if I change this for whatever reason, I have to come down manually and change this as well, but I can simply use this ternary condition or any other condition to assign this value in this structure, so this variable would be dependent on the value of this variable. I would use ternary because it's one line and it's easier to read. Talking about readability, let's talk about the danger of nested conditionals. It's really no problem with PHP if I write some conditional like this. I say okay, I have a value which is like 2. If it's 2, go to another conditional, it's then go through another conditional, go through another conditional. It's not a problem with PHP at all to go through this, evaluate this and give me the final result. But in terms of readability, it's really not recommended to write like this kind of nested conditionals. You can make it in different sections. You can refactor it to different functions. We will talk about refactoring. We will talk about making your code more readable later. But just have in mind that it's not a good idea to write these kind of nested conditionals, especially when you are working in a team and other developers are going to come and see your code and they have no idea who you are. They are going to continue working on this project, and it would make their life really hard to go through your code to understand what's going to happen and what's happening. That's it for now. That was the end of conditional. Let's go to the next topic.